It's very nice to see you all. And Wenka's doing an excellent job of letting people in. And as we're bang on the minute now, we'll give everyone another minute or two to find their way in. And whilst people are arriving, I know you're all absolute professionals at already being on mute, so that's great. So you can make as much noise as you like. Have your glass of water and your glass of wine. I seem to remember last week. So there we go. That's the best way to do it. Today I am drinking. I will give you. I'm not drinking wine yet. I'm drinking this, which is Purdy's Energy Rejuvenate. That's nice, isn't it? And it's grape and apple with ginseng. So I'm hoping I'm going to feel very enriched and very healthy by the end of our session today. It's so nice to see you all. We're already up to 2 pages. That's great. And now, Wenka, do I need to drop as a PDF into the chat box the Auguries of Innocence again? Is that a good idea?
I can do it if you want. I will drop it in the chat.
If you got it, that would be great. Because apparently we think it was on the website earlier, and then we think it disappeared as the new website arrived. If any of you were like me and you went onto the Singing Brussels website today to check what you need to be doing this week, I got there and it looked different. I got very confused for about 30 seconds, and then I found everything, and it all kind of made sense and looked very snazzy. It was very stylish, Wenka. The BOZAR team has done a very nice job of their new website, I think. And oh, it's so nice to see so many familiar faces. Hello, everyone. As we just let the last people drift in for the next 12 seconds or something, maybe you can spot I'm not in my house today, and I think I've just been spotlighted by Wenka, so you can see up close and personal that I have now got a very old wall behind me. And this old wall was built many hundreds of years ago, and that's because we're at the VOCES8 Centre today. And as this very minute our workshop starts here, on the other side of that wall and down through there, there is a small orchestra of about 9 players, and my brother Barney and a soprano called Mary Bevan, and they're about to start recording Handel arias. And so I'm going to be in here with you guys, and then I'm going to be doing my other job as a film producer on the other side of that wall immediately after this finishes. And if you want to see the product of the beautiful music that's happening, it's going to be in our Live from London series in the summer. So I think it's coming out in about 2 months, something like this. So I can send you some more information if you like about this. Now, I hope I can see Luke is not very well. Don't worry, Luke. You do whatever you can. And I hope everyone has, after our session with Andrea last week, been looking after our voices very well and feeling also that we're still okay to eat chocolate and then sing. These are the 2 critical things I think I learned from last week. And also the calorie point actually was one of my favorites, that for every calorie you consume, you should consume 1 ml of water. I thought that was a really good statistic. Today our plan is to do a bit of a warm-up together, and then we're going to start singing our Auguries of Innocence piece a little bit, and then we're going to dive into El Grillo and O Magnum Mysterium. Today, I specifically want to have some time to look at any areas of the piece that you find difficult. So it would be really helpful to me as we're working today, if you have something, a particular bar that you would like to work on, or notes that you're finding difficult in the piece, if you write it in the chat box, then we'll have a go at looking at those specific things as well as the overall pieces. Wenka, I think we're going to get started. Is that okay with you? Can everyone just give me 2 big thumbs up? Very nice to see you all. Can you give me a wave? And can you stretch your arms nice and wide and go, aha! It's one of my favourite moments of every day. And arms up. Very nice. And out slowly. And as I do this, I can hear oboe and strings very quietly in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. and up high again. And take a deep breath in. And let it out as your arms come down. Just wiggling your shoulders, getting them nice and loose. Can you push them? We're going to roll them backwards like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Now let's go forwards 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now see them like in tandem like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. And the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. And I can see some people are sitting down and some people are standing up. You do whatever works best for you. You just give your body a little bit of a tap. And pat your back as well. Just give your shoulders a bit of a squeeze. Really nice. And as you're doing this, can you just go for me? And again. Great. That's really good. This time, as we go up high, I'd like to get you sirening with that if possible as well, so it sounds from as low as possible to as high as possible. All together, and. Very good. Do you want to do it with your hand as well, so you can keep this sound spinning with me? And. That looks amazing. I'm really very sad that the rest of the world only seems to see me in these videos and doesn't get to see you guys doing that choreographed move with me, because that was amazing. Can we try that again? Very nice. And just rub your cheeks for me and just say for me, ya, 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 ya. Very nice. Let's do that again. Ya, 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 ya. And you can pick any pitch that you like. I'm just kind of letting my voice make sound. So just see where feels comfortable for you. Ya, 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 ya. Really nice. Give that just work a little massage in there. I've had massages from a Laryngeal Massage specialist, and they were the most painful things I've ever had in my life. The amount of pressure that goes on your head here as you're lying down, it's amazing. And they also do a lot of work under here. Can you just stick out your tongue for me, like this? Very good. And now stick it out like this. So you're kind of getting the bottom just tucked in, like that. And as you're doing that, can you then just massage under here? As you trace down under here, just with your thumb, you sort of trace on the inside of the jaw, and on the same on the other side, just with a good amount of pressure but not too much, and the two together. And as you do that with your tongue in this position, you should feel your tongue just stretch out a little bit further. It helps just to loosen the muscle. Let's try that once more. Very good. And you're also pulling great faces as you do that. That's a really good one to practice in the bathroom mirror. Just roll your tongue around inside your mouth. Just really feel that muscle working. Very good. In the other direction. Very nice. And just say for me again, ya, 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 ya. Thank you very much, everyone. Excellent. Right, now we worked on our auguries of innocence. We're going to use this as a bit of a warm-up today because I think the range is quite nice. And so if you were here last week, then you should remember that. If not, I think Wenka has posted it into the chat today, so you should be able to see it. And I'm just going to pull up the score as well down here, so I'll share it on the screen for a second. You'll remember that this piece is one that we've been writing together, and that there is some music that's written and other bits that we're going to be able to improvise around. And I'm happy to say that VOCES8 made a little recording for us this week. So I'll share that in just a minute. We'll have a look at the whole piece. But first of all, let's just have a look at a couple of little bits of it. First of all, I hope, can you see that, Wenka? So I assume everyone else can see this too. So we have our first, to see our world in a grain of sand, and a hen in a wild flower. Let's all just have a go at that. We had a little go at that. If you're finding it high or low, that's fine. We're going to imagine this all as one joined up melody for now. To see, 3, 4, and go. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a hen in a wild flower. Very nice. And as we're singing this, can we just do one now where we try and make it really joined up all the time? So we're not singing to see a world, but to see a world in a grain of sand. Imagine it's really syrupy for me this time. Make it more legato than you think it should be. Ya, that's your first note. Or ya, ya. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a hen in a wild flower. Very nice. And now let's just see if we can put that in with the body percussion that we were using last week. Do you remember that? Anyone remember what we did there? No, it's okay. I don't either. We're just going to basically make it up again. But I think what we used was this. And so we had this for 1, and then we had 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, down, 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 down. And that takes us all the way through our rhythms, okay? So if I'll demonstrate it for you. If we put it with the melody, sing along immediately if you feel confident. If not, you can just watch this time and then we'll do it once more. So it goes like this. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a hen in a wild flower. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, should we try that together? 2, 2, 3, 4. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a hen in a wild flower. Dum, 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 dum. Very nice. Now if we take that exact same idea to the second page, we have this line now that's much more based around one single note, kind of feels a little bit like plain chant. So we have the melody, first of all, sounds like this. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. Okay, so that's singing both the lines together, which I think we can do. Let's try that one more time now, all together. So we have the first note is here. Hold, 2, 3, and. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. Very nice. So that moment after eternity, in our composition session, we had this idea that there must be a moment of silence in the music. And I think this is the moment we can all feel it together. So we have those 2 beats after eternity, and eternity in, and I just love that moment. So let's really enjoy those 2 beats of silence that we have to feel, internalize the tempo. Let's try that now with the rhythm in our body percussion as well. hold, 2, 3, and hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in and out. And we carry on. And if we're trying to work out why that last rhythm goes like that, that's in our 6/8 bar. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. That's how we're finishing with that last bar of the riff. Fantastic. So we've got those two lines. We've also got the other parts that we've got in our harmony parts here. For our tenors and our basses here at bar 1, as you can see, we just have our do or our do. And can you all just say for me, duh, 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 duh. This is what we're not going to do with the way we say our duh. Okay, so we want our, I think everything in this piece we're thinking about calmness and softness and being quite gentle. So when you see a duh, we can make that quite hard, but I'd love it if we can make it really soft, more like a do, do, almost a th. There's a kind of halfway between duh and th, kind of do. Can you just say for me, the. Very good. So we're going to find halfway between that. And each time you get those notes, whether they're long notes or shorter notes, let's keep the duh quite soft. Okay? We'll have a go at singing that with VOCES8 in just a minute. And in this piece, you can pick whichever part you like. So you can either sing one of the harmony parts, or you can sing the melody part we've just looked at. And once it's happened in the upper voices, it happens again in the lower voices. In page 3, this is where it gets a bit, page 4, we had these little rhythms that we were building up. So we have our do, 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 do. That's our little bass part. So if you're a bass, that's the bit you're going to sing. Then we have our tenor part. Have a listen to this, tenors. Sing along if you fancy as well. So the first tenor note is here. Do, we're at bar 21 just here. Do, 2, 3, 4. Do, 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 do. That's our little tenor line. And then for the sopranos, I've written a part that's really easy in the hope that you'll feel brave to go and do some improvising afterwards. So the soprano line, you just need to know how to go do 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 do. And again, you can hear I'm not singing do do, but very soft. Do 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 do. And then for the altos, we have a very similar line, but just a little higher. Do 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 do. Okay, so we have these little parts going on, and if you also listen when we do it with VOCES8, down in bar 26 we have our soprano line. Let's all try this together. We have infinity. Let's just try infinity and infinity. Let's try it again. And infinity. Very nice. And then we have our second line, eternity, eternity. Let's try that. Eternity. 1. Eternity. So we have infinity, eternity. Okay, let's try those two bits together. 1. Infinity, eternity. Now that is written as an optional improvisation for you. So you can sing that whichever voice you are, whatever range you want, or you can make up your own ideas to go with it. You could put a sound effect that goes with the low beat pattern that we've come up with. You could add in a different melody, a different harmony with a do, do 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 do, or anything else that you fancy. So there's an opportunity here to improvise. In the version we're going to do now with VOCES8, this goes around 2 times. So then after that we go on to the end of the piece, which is the same ideas as from the beginning, but with some other little bits of added harmony. Let's have a go, shall we? Wenka, are you feeling good over there? I can see you've been singing along. And so I'm going to just stop this share now and see if I can start us sharing with the video instead. And what I've also done in this recording, it's probably in this recording a little bit slower than it will be when we do it next week with VOCES8, but it is an improvised piece, so we'll just join in with what they do. I've also put the piano part in here as well, and then when we have a go at it next week live, we can play and interact and have a go at experimenting as we do it, because we'll all be together live in the room, which I think will be quite fun. So can I get a quick show of hands? How many people have this score so that I don't need to share it? So are you happy if I don't share it on the screen, so I share the video instead? How many? Well, quite a lot of people haven't. How many people need the score on the screen right now with me? Okay, some people. So I'm going to start the video, then I'm going to get the screen. I'll get the thing up as well. Okay, so give me a second. So we'll start with the score. Okay, so there's the score. I hope you can all see that, and I'm going to start the video now. Try and pick the right piece. Okay, here we go from the beginning. Next time round, if you feel like you can add in some form of improvisation with physical percussion or singing a different line, I'd love to hear what you come up with. Here we go. Very nice. I can see some people tapping scores and nodding like they just did an okay job. Give me a thumbs up if you got from the beginning to the end, everyone. Well done. So what we've got here is now like a skeleton score. And this is the whole idea of this piece, that it's partly composed, partly improvised. And I really wish that I could ask each of you to come up with your own snippet of melody for that improvised section for next week, and then to sing that in that moment when it appears, to add in whatever it is. We'll stop it being a piece with about 6 layers and make it a piece with 60 layers, which I think could be really fun. So that's one of your challenges for the next week. Okay, you have to try and come up with your own little fragment of improvisation. All of those different bits fit with lots of the different ideas from the composers team, so a big thanks again to the composers. And Wenka, are we able to get this video up onto the site so that people can practice during the week? Is that possible?
Yes, I will put it on the website. I don't know if it's already there. I will check it.
Okay. We'll see if we can find it. That'll be brilliant. So that is the first piece, Auguries of Innocence. And oh, I can hear someone coming up the stairs. It must be. I mean, it's not often you're doing a workshop and a horn player arrives. Look at that! What a beautiful instrument. How amazing is that? we're just going on, Gavin, to our the pieces you were listening to earlier and quite liking. So yeah, so are you finished now? Wow, just like that. It's nice to be a horn player. You play like 2 pieces and then you get to go home. Very well played. I could hear it through the wall. It was great. Some of the best players in the world are through that door right now. Very lucky to have them in the building with us today. Right, so we have done our practice on the first piece. Let's go and have a look at O Magnum Mysterium. And so if you can find that score, that would be brilliant. And particularly with this piece, oh, thanks, Wenka, for putting the link to the audio on the website. That's brilliant. As we are looking at O Magnum Mysterium, as I said, if you can put into the chat box any particular points that you would like to look at, where we're going to start today, hope if I can find it, will be the second half of the piece, because we did the first half last week. So we're going to start, I believe, around bar 41. Okay, so once you find that score, just dig it out to bar 41. I'm going to find O Magnum Mysterium whilst we're doing this and just play it from the beginning so we can get a bit of a vibe of how it goes. Can you all hear that okay? You can hear that? Great. So I'm just going to jump us forward to the appropriate bit. At the moment. Great, so that's where we're going to start from in just a second. We're around about bar 35 now, so we'll play about 5 bars to get you into the groove, and then we're going to start from bar 41. And so when we hit the first notes there, the bass is going to be there. Oh, tenor, oh, alto, soprano. Okay, those are going to be our first notes. Can you just sing your first note for me? See, I love Zoom. I believe you did that right. But I love that if you didn't, you were like, no, I didn't quite get it. You off? Yeah. Nice to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Right, so you've got about 4 bars to get into the groove, and I'm going to put the score up on the page so we can see that as well, if that's helpful. Is that helpful for people? Would you like the score? Thumbs up if you want the score. Okay, some people do. So that's great. If you've got the score, brilliant. If not, let's just get that up. Okay. Can we see that, everyone? So this is where we're starting. Bar 41. Oh, in fact, I asked you to sing the wrong chord because I have a score that's a tone down. Anyway, we'll fix that in a second. Here we go. Let's go from 4 bars earlier. Here we go. Well done. Let me just press pause on that. Excellent. So, just a couple of little things for us to think about. And if you have a question of a particular bar you'd like to look at in your part, now is the time to write it in the chat box. If you're feeling super confident with everything, that's great. But if you want to look at your bar, then we can do that. A few little comments from me, just to draw our attention to. At bar 41, I hope you heard, as VOCES8 sung at that time, it was really gentle, it was really soft, and it was really smooth. So we have that. O beata this little moment here, we keep it quite tranquil, and then as the basses and the sopranos have something interesting to do at bar 43, I'll get the score back up so you can see what we're talking about here. I think that's a really nice moment for us to find. So here we are. Bar 41 is going to be nice and calm. Then when we get to the bass part here, Figo, we're going to make sure we bring that out a little bit and the sopranos really feel that together. As we get to this following bar, you'll have heard that the group takes just a little bit of time before starting with cujus viscera. So make sure we just finish the phrase, take a good breath, and then carry on. We're not going to rush that, and we're not worried about staying absolutely in time at that moment. So that's one little thing to be aware of there. There were some really nice running moments through the alto section here, bar 47. Then we've also got this lovely soprano motif here, and then the bass is when you come in with the Jesum Christum, and as we finish bar 53 and we head into bar 54, we're going to be changing the tempo at that point, and you'll feel it gets a bit more lively as we get into our Alleluia section. Okay, so we're going to have the bass line, for example, would be going Jesum Christum Alleluia, and we're going to pick up a little bit faster there. By finding that change at bar 54, we're probably going to take a beat. I can't remember quite what VOCES8 did there, but Christum off, breathe, and then carry on with the upper voices. Then we work through that section in 3, finding a bit more joy, a bit more fizz, a bit more life. And then as we go back into this section, the 2-2 or 4-4 just here, that's at bar 68. We have our Alle, this section here, for the tenors and the basses. Let's make that quite forthright. Okay, we found a really calm middle section earlier. Let's make this have a bit of oomph, a bit of alleluia about it, and then we're going to slowly cadence it out to the end. You'll hear that the group didn't die away too softly, so we're going to keep it a nice mezzo forte. But make sure sopranos here, you've got a very long last note, so make sure you top up your tank before you get there, and if you need to cheat, that's okay, but ideally do it early in the note rather than towards the end of the note. Okay? Now, I'm trying to monitor the chat box as well, so I'm just going to stop sharing. Has anyone got any specific questions? Could you repeat the first note? Someone's asked. Is that the first note that we sang? And Wenger's asked, which voice part was it? That's a good question. Who was it that asked the correct? Oh, I can see. It's the troublesome 2 there. Do you want to unmute and ask what you're talking about in person? No. Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? I'm getting the sense, can you sing the alto version? Yes. So we do the alto from bar 41? Ulrike, is that what you mean, from bar 41? So the alto at bar 41 is, let's just pull it back up again. Very So at bar 41, you have a boring bit for quite a while, altos. Oh, beata vi, all one note. Then we have cuius viscera, which is easy enough, I think. Then you have me. That note is important. Me. The F sharp. Eru, erunt. Portare do. So, portare dominum. Then we have Jesum Christum. Okay? Should we have a go at that with the altos? And if you're happy with your part, then you can sing your line in. If not, let's just do that once more with the altos. Let's just start from the cuius viscera bit. So we have cuius viscera meru erunt. Should we try that? 1, 2, 3. Cuius viscera meru erunt portare dominum. Just like that, but with a nice alto voice instead of a dodgy baritone voice, if possible. Very good. Are there any other questions for bits to look at? So take little breaths in between when there's no rest. Is that okay? Yes. I mean, ideally, we take breaths. Let's have a think. Take breaths basically at the end of your phrases. When you see a punctuation mark, that's a good time to take a breath. If you need to cheat a breath, the best thing about Zoom is that you can get away with it, and I will not know. But ideally, we're trying to manage our breath through the whole process. And particularly, we did some work, I think, in the first week about airflow. And if we're singing with good support down here, that's going to really help us manage longer phrases. And this piece in particular is the one that's a bit of a challenge for the longer phrases. So if we go from bar 41, we have O beata Virgo, breath there. Cuius viscera meru erunt. I take a breath after runt. Portare dominum. And then take one after num if you're in the upper two voices. Then we have Jesum Christum. We're going to take a breath after tum. That's the second beat of the 3/4 section. And then Alleluia, Alleluia, breath. Alleluia, Alleluia, breath. Alleluia, Alleluia, breath. Alleluia, breath. And now we're at the 4 section. So we have the lower voices. I'll just show you on the score here. So we take a breath, Alleluia, Alleluia, breath, Alleluia, Alleluia, breath, Alleluia. If you need a breath, you can take one there, sopranos and altos, well, all the parts if you need it, but be quick about it. Alleluia. Then lower voices here, we'll take a breath, and it's easy for you guys. And then, now sopranos, basically if you're going to cheat, I would sneak a breath at some point in this first bar here, so that as we cadence towards the end, we're finishing off nicely. But obviously if you can make it all the way, that's even better. Do we have any other questions? No, that's good. Fantastic. So shall we try the piece from the beginning to the end? I'd quite like that if that's possible. So I'm going to reset the video. Everyone get your score at the ready. Tap those pages, turn them back to bar 1, and we'll get the first page up here as well. And let me just find the video. I screen share the score. There we go. Okay, so our first note, oh, for the soprano, oh manium. Okay, I'll just get the score back. Great. Here we go then. This is Omanium from the beginning to the end. Altos. Tenors. Now everyone holding up for the basses. Here we go. Nice. Sopranos and altos. Voices. Joining in, very nice. Upper three voices. Basses joining in, here we go. Sopranos coming in. Altos. Sopranos. Nice. Nice and soft now. Really tender. Basses and out and sopranos. Here we go. Just a little leaning. Get ready for the big change. Here we go. Now fourth light. Well done, everybody. I can only see about 5 people's faces whilst we're using the scores like that. Can everyone tell me, did you get on okay with that? Thumbs up? Yeah? Was it like this or was it like this? That's good. It's okay. You've still got another week to practice. Don't forget, this is only the 1 hour that we get together in the week. Doesn't mean it's the only hour that you spend on this music. I was looking at the videos earlier and I noticed as I was looking at them that some other people were also on the same page looking at that music. So I know that some of you, at least, have been doing some practice. So well done to everyone who was doing their practice. You have one more week to be prepared for that piece when we meet on stage with VOCES8 just downstairs at the centre. Oh, we have a couple of questions. Yeah, we can just look at these now. Bar 14 and bar 28 in the soprano. Let's just pull that up and have a quick look. Very good question. So, bar 28, first of all, here we are. So we have, so that goes. No, that's the first critical note. So we have Fidere Dominum natum. So that C natural is reminding us that whilst we've gone up with the C sharp in bar 27, we're using the natural again in bar 28 and also in 29. So we have natum and bar 14 is also hanging over from something else. So we have Manu that G sharp is there, and then it's a G natural Arium. So that is a bit tricky, isn't it? Lots of accidentals there for the sopranos. So we have O Manu That's our other little soprano corner. Okay. Were there any other things popping into the box? No, I think that's it. I would love to spend our last 10 minutes looking at El Grillo, if that's okay. So let's jump to that piece now. This is only a 2-minute banger, if you remember from last time we looked at it. It's over before it's begun, basically. And last week we looked at the parts of the piece that come up quite regularly. So we're well prepared on that side of things. There was just a little time to look at the second part of the song this week. So as you're finding it, let's just jump to the second part now, and so you can hear how it goes. Repeat that. Let me go back to the beginning. Very good. So we are bouncing back and forth around that. Let's just have a quick look. I'm just going to pull the score back up so I can see it. So last week we did our excellent fast work on Dale Dale Beve Beve Grillo Grillo Canta, which was excellent. Now can we just have a look at bar 22? Here we are, the text. Man non fa come gli, that's megli, altri uccelli, altri uccelli. Can you just say for me, altri uccelli, altri uccelli. So we have altri uccelli, come li han cantato un poco. So the trick to look out for are the moments when they join up the elide the words. Okay, so we have ma non fa come gli altri cieli, come li han cantato un poco. Okay, and then we repeat that same section with the other words. Vande fatto in altro loco, sempre el grillo sta saldo, which I find a much easier second line than the first line. Okay, should we just have a go at putting some notes to that? So we have the basses, ma non fa come gli altri cieli, come li han cantato un poco. Let's just try it at that speed. I'm going to sing the bass part. If you can sing your part along with us, that would be great. If not, we'll sing it in just a second. So we have ma. Here we go. And ma non fa come gli altri uccelli, come li han cantato un poco. And then we do the same words again. Let's have a look at the tenor line. Ma non fa come gli altri uccelli, come li han cantato un poco, is the tenor line. The alto line. Ma non fa come gli megli. Faco. It's too high for me. Faco megli altri uccelli, come li han cantato un poco. That's for all those altos out there. Very nice. And then our sopranos, our melody line, if we like. You have ma as your first note, and ma non fa come gli altri uccelli, come li han cantato un poco. And if you see that little accidental above there, the sharp, that's turning it into an F sharp, but it's the editor's choice, I think. Is that what that means? So let's try all of those together and put it at speed with the VOCES8 singers. I will find that part in the music for us. And here we go. I think it's about here. Getting ready? Here we go. Great. Let's try that once more. Now that you've had a crack, you know how fast it's going. Let's try exactly the same thing again. Okay? I'll just rewind the tape. Here we go. Be ready. Good luck, everyone. With energy. Great. Now, I just gave you a little playthrough of that last page. So we just had a look at that. The first part of the rhythms. Quando la maggio el caldo, bum 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 bum. That's all quite straightforward. And then we have, in the tenor part in particular, you have a bit of fun coming up here. That's a good part, yes. For the tenors, that's at bar 34, and the sopranos as well. Just have a look at that rhythm. We have ba 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 bum ba dum bum 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 bum. It's a bit like a dance, a bit of a boogie. So if we have from the al-or here, bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. Can you all do that with me and clap at the same time? Get a bit of a dance going. And if the other parts want to sing your lines as well, we have ba for the sopranos, ba for the altos, tenors, ba for the tenors, and ba for the basses. Okay, let's try after 2. 1. Bum 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 bum. With the tenors, we have that same line. Bum 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 bum. Let's try that with the tenors and everyone else again. This is from the same part. Okay. Tenors. 1. Bum 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 bum. I just realised, tenors, that last time I sang a wrong note, and that's actually an F natural that we're going to sing there. So we have bum 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 bum. Great. Let's put that all together with everybody. I'll press play again, winding it back a few seconds. So you get 2 chances at this, everyone. There we go. Very good. Okay, so that is the end of the piece, and then we go right the way back to the beginning, and we sing the bits that we practiced last week through to the end of the piece. We've had now a look at all the different parts across these last 3 weeks. So let's try sticking it together from the beginning to the end of this 2-minute piece. I know it's 8 o'clock. I'm sorry to keep, or 9 o'clock for you. I'm sorry to keep you from your glass of wine for 2 more minutes. But are you okay to have one more go running this from the beginning to the end? Is that okay? Excellent. I could see 4 people and 2 of you put your hands up in a positive way. So I'm calling that a majority, sort of. Okay, so we're going to the beginning of El Grillo, and get yourselves filled with energy. We've had our nice calm O Magnum Mysterium, we've had our nice calm Auguries of Innocence. Let's fire the energy and the tongue up into this piece. It looks like everyone's now getting themselves into a good sitting position. I am going to try and roll the score again from the beginning to the end. Can you all still see the score? I hope so. It's quite a lot of back and forward, so I'll see if I can keep up. Here we go. Good luck, everybody.
Il grillo buon cantore che tiene il longo verso. Dale, dale, beve, beve, grillo, grillo, canta, canta. Dale, dale, beve, beve, grillo, grillo, canta. Il grillo è buon cantore, ma non fa come gli altri uccelli, come lì han cantato un poco. Quando il faro in alto luogo, sempre il grillo sta bussando. Quando la maggiore calo, allora canto sosterrà amore. Quando
Oh no.
la maggiore calo, allora canto sosterrà.
Here we go, back to the beginning now.
Il grillo è buon cantore. grillo, grillo canta il grillo è buon cantore.
Well done, everybody. Terribly sorry if you were following my score and not your own. There was a real bit of zipping around in the middle there, wasn't there? I got very excited. So this is why we all have to practice for next week, isn't it? So next week we're going to be live in the room with VOCES8. So if it's possible, I would love you to have your own scores to one side, and that way we can keep VOCES8 on the screen and actually just be making music together in the room. So I therefore won't have to be trying to manage the scores on the screen. We can just simply be in the room, talking to you, singing with you, and you can have your scores and see us and interact with us. I think that would definitely be the best thing to do. So if that's okay with you, that's what we'll do. I saw a lot of you nodding there, so that's good. And I can't see anyone starting to cry as a result. So we're going to say that's all good then. Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you very much for staying a bit longer tonight, and well done. Next week, we're going to be down in the main space, and we'll have all of VOCES8 there. And the idea really is it's not necessarily like a concert. It's much more like a rehearsal that finishes with a little performance at the end. So we will use most of the rehearsal actually just practicing the piece, and I'll get each of the voice parts to talk a little bit about their favourite part of the song and that sort of thing, so we can just examine the music a little bit. And then just for the last 10 minutes or so of our event next week, we'll sing the pieces live all together. But before that, we will rehearse together as much as possible. So really, see it as a rehearsal, but if you want to come all dressed up, you're very welcome. If Wenka tells me to come dressed up, I'll put on a tie. If not, I won't. So I'm going to leave it in Wenka's hands to decide what we're going to wear. And if you've got any questions between now and next week, then send us a message. And Wenka, have you got anything you need to tell us?
No, but there is still a question in the chat.
Oh.
And about repeat Alto's bar 24. I don't know it has been solved, this question, or is it still a question? Hilde.
Okay. Hilde, you stay behind as everyone else goes, and we'll look at this together. And any altos that also want to stay behind, you stay behind too, and we'll solve that question.
And I just wanted also to say, I hope that everybody found the chat. If you don't have the scores and you cannot find them on the website, click on the scores in the chat box, and then you can download them now. Then you have them for next week. Yeah. Thank you very much, Paul, and all the rest for being there.
Yeah, well done, everybody. Very good work. I'm impressed. I can tell how many good musicians there are in the room. So thank you for being here and for us singing together. And I can't wait to be in real life as soon as possible. Someone said once again for the soprano. That's Vera. Do you want the whole piece again? I can play the whole piece again. That's fine. We'll do that as the outro. And Hilda is asking for the bar 24. Is this of El Grillo? Hilda, talk to me, Hilda. Hilda, I can see you. Talk to me.
Hilde, if you want, you can talk. Eh?
Okay, thank you. And bar 22. No, yes, 24. We have the repeat, and we have other lyrics van de fato.
Yeah.
And we still sing the G there, or we stay on the E from bar 23.
It's a good question. So you sing the G, but you keep the word the same as the previous word until you get to. So you extend fato, one extra beat, but you go up to the G. So
okay.
Vando fato, Vando fato in altro loco. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I didn't hear it on the recording.
I'm going to now listen back to the recording and see if the altos did it wrong, because that's my brother, and if he got it wrong, that would be an extra bonus point for me.
Thank you.
Really a pleasure. And then Vera, you were after bar 14 and bar 28 of O Magnum Mysterium. You want me to play that again? Where's Vera? Okay, I'll find it, assuming that that's what you're after. We'll just play the first section again of that. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Great. I actually think that moment at bar 28 is one of my total favorites. That crunch with the altos is just gorgeous, isn't it? Perfect. Everybody, thank you very much for hanging around. I'm assuming this is all of the... No, in fact, it just looks like everyone has stayed, most of you. Well done, the awesome people. Thanks for staying a bit longer. And I cannot wait to see all of you next week. For now, I'm going to jump through that wall, not literally, and go and see some Handel being performed. And I know my night is going to be very lucky as a result of that. So I hope you can join us for some beautiful music, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.